Hello, hello. Welcome back to the DeAnda Factor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am actually going to go ahead and bring in my special guest because I will forget y'all. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. How are
Hey.
you? It is morning for me, Sunday morning for me, and I know it's Sunday evening for you. At any rate, I am so excited about the call today because we will be talking about what has become my favorite book of late. Talking about Rachel Rodgers' book, We Should All Be Millionaires. And just to introduce who is also on the call with me, the lovely and wonderful Malaceo Ivy, who is also my accountability partner. And today we will be your resident coaches for getting into the weeds of this book. We are going to unpack quite a bit. Malaceo,
Yes.
tell them where you are and we're gonna get into it.
So I'm Malaceo. Right now I'm in Malaysia. So I slow travel full time. DeAnda, she travels, well, slow travels now, but she does it also part time. So we're talking about more of like the financial part. Well, pretty much all of Exit Summit was financial, aka making money, getting your money together. So with the speaker Rachel Rodgers, we was essentially looking into her book. Like, I forgot if you read it or not, or you was listening to the audiobook. I listened to the audiobook.
That's reading it. That's reading it.
Is it?
At least that's what I
See,
call
we're
it.
gonna see. We're gonna have to
In
have a
my
whole
book
nother
club, that's
conversation
what we
because
call
the
it.
book talk be saying otherwise, girl. I don't want nobody attacking me. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to actually go from just our opinions and how we are dissecting some of the things that was said throughout the book, essentially. So that's what we're going to do today.
Exactly that. So grab your tea, grab your notes, and your millionaire energy. And we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna get right into it. I will also ask, like, if you are joining us live, drop a money symbol in the chat and let us know where you are listening from or watching from. So I started listening to this book the evening of the first night of the summit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Rachel Rodgers was the keynote speaker for Exodus Summit 2025. Um, more money, more move abroad money.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into my Spotify store and found the book and started listening to it that
Mm-hmm.
night. I
Yeah.
finished it basically before the summit
Yes,
was over.
you did.
Like that's how I was pulled in.
Yes.
It's her energy. I think I spoke about that in our
Mm-hmm.
recap session where we recapped
Yeah.
the summit. And I wanted everybody to be a part of it. So I
Mm-hmm.
immediately, said, "Hey, girl, you got to read it too," and you
Yeah.
did just that. You did just that. You jumped right on it. So what was the thing that pulled you in? What was it outside of me saying, "Girl, you got to read this"?
See, you start already answering me before I even, because I said, we're right here. But I think it's the main part of when she's first talking about the history a little bit. And then even like with her explaining imposter syndrome and even her vernacular and how she speaks, I feel like it's very Like it's almost like, like cultural. Like even when she was talking about, like your broke ass decisions, she's pretty much breaking it down and giving you examples of what she's been through in her life. And I can say for me, I'm like, oh, that's very similar. Like I've did that. And this is stuff that I'm doing to myself. This is
Right.
stuff that I'm volunteering to do. This is
Yeah.
stuff that I'm not pouring into myself. I'm pouring into other people because if they're complaining about something, be like, okay, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to do this.
Mhm.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the research on your behalf. I'm going to help you, but really you're doing for them. Like
Yeah.
you're not just helping
Yeah.
when you could put even a fraction of that into yourself, or
Mhm.
even just withhold it. So you
Yeah.
have your energy, you have your peace, all of the things.
Mhm.
So that was really what drove me in with her at the beginning of
Mhm.
her book, because
Mhm.
I really did struggle with that for a long time. Like that was the
Mhm.
story of my life.
So
So
you're
yeah.
saying that you're not struggling with that, or you don't do that, or you do that less than you used to?
Well, I'm always going to be a helpful person. I don't like how you just drank that drink.
Right.
Anyway, it was very like, I am a very helpful
'Cause I'm
person.
listening
Okay.
too. I'm listening too.
Yes. Just a smidge.
Mhm.
So I am a very helpful person. I feel
Mhm.
like most women, most Black women are, especially when you're in this realm of Exodus Summit. This is what
Mhm.
the community is based off of. But it's also having these boundaries and being like, okay, you didn't do what you needed to do with this.
Mhm.
For example, I sent links to people, and whatever you
Links
do
up
with that
links about
information,
Exodus Summit.
yeah, going to Exodus Summit, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have, that was majority of anybody's problem,
Mhm.
anybody's issues, other than something that you got to go internal and deal with, and we can't help you with that.
Mhm.
But it's money.
Mhm.
This whole summit was about money, how to make
Yeah.
your money, how to get to your money. It was phenomenal. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I
that is like
would,
a big thing.
to add to that, because a lot of people, I will say, people maybe are in their planning of leaving,
Mhm.
or in their planning of, hey, I think I want to go to Mexico for 6 months, but how do I do that from a financial standpoint? Do
Right.
I, go and talk to my boss and see if I can,
Mhm.
work remotely? Um, do I quit my job and start my own thing? When you start asking those questions, what
Mhm.
Rachel Rodgers does in this book is, basically she's saying, don't ask them in this vacuum. Don't ask them in this asking for
Mhm.
permission way, right?
Yeah.
Ask them in this, get behind your decision to ask this question and then act on it.
Mhm.
And it's
Yes.
fine to, be in planning mode, which, that's my that's my jam. Like I get in there and I'm like having so much fun planning that I'm not doing.
Mhm.
And I've had to find those, what this book actually helped me do too, is find those strategies and
Mhm.
planning tools to have me also acting,
Right.
acting. And that leads me actually to my first question. Can you think of an example of, and you kind of brought this up earlier,
Mhm.
a broke ass decision you've made in recent years? Um,
Mm.
and I will go ahead and say that has become a habit that you just do. It's a broke ass
Yeah.
decision. That's my way. That's my, thinking that, that's Black excellence or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
um and once you, kind of give me that, also expound on why you think it could be categorized as a broke ass decision, and
Mhm.
what did you learn, once you realize,
Mhm.
damn, that's a broke ass decision. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I mean, I know that was
Um,
a quite a bit, but
I'm going to ask you again. I'm like, what else do I need to answer?
I
You
know.
already know I am. But
Yeah.
I would have to say, even like more recent years, because I did have more of a pattern. So I was sort of touching on it before. So let's just say um somebody's like, let me I don't know what I want to do. I'm doing this job and I don't like this job, whatever. While I'm sitting here, thinking about what I want to do, I'll turn around and be like, here's all the information I got. This is who I looked at. Go to this LinkedIn profile. This person does job searches. This person does this. This person does that. And instead of that person, after a while or whatever, they're like, let's just say 2 weeks. Oh, I don't like this job. And like, I didn't do that. I was like, oh, well, let me get you something else. Apparently that didn't work for you. Let me get you something else. Let me get you something else. And it was like I hit a brick wall when one time this person told me, all I want to do is complain about it. I don't want to do anything about it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
why I put those two together as a broke ass decision, I was spending all this time and all of this energy putting into somebody else. And I didn't even ask them if they wanted a solution.
Right.
I
Oh,
did that because I
yeah.
thought that they was going to appreciate me. They were going to, I'm thinking I'm helping you, like all of the things. But
Mhm.
I know I got something that I got to do for me, and I got to do research for me. I got to go and pick this up, or just stuff you got to do around the house,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
adulting is adulting.
Mhm.
And money is time. Time is
Yeah.
money at the end of the day, and it adds
Mhm.
up after a while.
Mhm.
So, what's the other part of your question?
Well, so you would say that that's been in recent years, that that's
Mhm.
a behavior, a broke ass behavior decision that you've been making.
Yes,
But why would you characterize that as, why not characterize that as, hey, I'm helping a friend. I'm helping a friend.
because nothing is coming from it. It's
Mhm.
a black pit almost of you're just, and it's also putting in like financial anything.
Mhm.
um I had another situation where I was pretty much offering a friend to be like, hey, I'm going to pay, and this is even before I left the States. I was telling a friend, I'm like, I'll pay for your ticket for Exodus Summit.
Mhm.
And girl, this was like the 200 something dollar ticket.
Oh, wow.
So I'm
Okay.
like, you can have the same information. We're going to be
Mhm.
arm in arm, and we're going to go
Yeah.
on this journey together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even with that, would have been a broke ass decision, because I'm
Mhm.
spending money. I'm spending, once again, time, because I feel like women, especially black women, do not count. What she also said in her book, and she touched on it overall, but that quiet labor,
Mhm.
that thinking, processing ideas, everybody else is getting paid buku bucks just
Mhm.
for their ideas,
Mhm.
and we give it freely.
Yeah.
Like, that is a very, that's just, imagination
Yeah.
is a very, very, very big commodity at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So
Yeah.
me just giving that away
Mhm.
is a broke ass decision.
Yeah.
Me putting this time in when
Yeah.
I know I got to do something for myself and for my
Yeah.
business and for my ideas,
Mhm.
that's a broke ass decision. So we have to fully take back our energy and understand, in, it will take some work, because it took work for me, but
Mhm.
you got to understand that what you put out is valuable.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I will add to that because I feel like my broke ass decisions are somewhat similar because if you ask a question and I know the answer to it, I'm giving it to you.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm doing it so robotically that I don't realize I
Mhm.
just gave away like, $500 worth of information,
Information. Hmm.
you know. Literally did it yesterday. I literally did it yesterday. Let me tell you the story. So
Okay.
I'm
You know,
getting
that's
my
what I
hair
was going to
braided.
ask.
I got my hair braided yesterday,
Mm.
sitting in the chair. And before I got this call from a friend, um, my braider said, hey, my business isn't going well. I'm,
Mhm.
not getting people in. And she lives in my neighborhood. I live in Brooklyn. And I said,
Mhm.
it's because of the foot traffic. The neighborhood has changed, and it
Yeah.
has drastically. And I mean,
Sorry. Sorry. Tell people
oh,
what you do.
oh, I'm sorry.
You
I'm a
need to start
marketer.
telling people
Yeah.
what you do. Broke that
Yes.
decision.
That, that's, you are correct. Thank you. Thank you for
Mhm.
that. Marketing manager and marketing strategist. And she said, oh, I don't, get enough customers now. It's, my business. Her exact words was, my business isn't doing well.
Mhm.
And for a Saturday, she should have had people waiting after me, and there was
Girl,
no
and it's
one
the
in there.
holiday season.
Right. Exactly.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
A Saturday. A
Yeah.
Saturday. Right. So, and there are other things that I could have told her. It's like, hey, you should do this,
Mhm.
you should do that. But I didn't say anything when she said that. I didn't say anything. I put my earbuds back in, but then I got a
Mhm.
call, and I'm talking about business. So when I get off the call, she said, oh, what do
Yeah.
you do? And I
Yeah.
said, I'm a
Mhm.
marketer, I'm a marketing manager. And she said, oh, well, what can I do? And I didn't say, Google that, sis, or, go over there,
Yeah.
follow me
Mhm.
here, or, here's
Mhm.
my card. I didn't do that. I gave her five. And the reason why I know it's five, and I held up for, the reason why I know it's five things to do
Mhm.
is I text them to her. I also wrote them out in a text message, because she was like, I can't write them down, because she was doing my hair. Yes, ma'am.
Right. But
I did that.
still, they could have been
I
up.
did that. That happened. That happened. And so, but here's the thing. I knew when, like, after I sent it or whatever, because then
Mhm.
she started telling me what she couldn't do. She's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because she was looking at me type it in. And
Yeah.
I was saying to myself, like, you just gave her, literally, if she did one or maybe two of those things,
Yeah.
she would be raking in the dough,
Yeah.
raking in the
Because you get
door.
right to the point.
Yeah. I wasn't
Yeah.
giving her nothing to me. And I know, when you think about marketing, but like the first thing I told her was, you need a street team, and you need the
Mhm.
street team to go where your customers are. They
Right.
need to go. And I even called out, go to Fulton Avenue, Fulton Street or whatever in
Mhm.
Brooklyn, go to Nostrum Avenue. When
Mhm.
they get off the subway, you need to have somebody standing right there handing out
Right.
your cards, your flyers, or whatever. You need
Mhm.
a street team. And I said, you need to do that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mhm.
And I gave her some more, right? I gave her some more. And she was like, oh, oh, oh. But then when I typed them in, oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. So, and so here's what that ends up
Mhm.
being. You want me to do it for you. You
Yeah.
want me to do it for you.
Yeah.
And so I'm not doing it though. I'm not doing it.
And then you already, and you see how it happens, you guys, and you build a bridge of free labor.
Yes. Yes.
Like
Because
it's stuff like that. Yeah.
because you know, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, I would have. Oh,
Yeah.
here's a
Oh yeah.
potential. I would have called it a potential customer.
You guys, we had this conversation so many times. Like you just don't understand. Like I said, like because we do it with each other all the
Yeah.
time,
Mhm.
and I'll be talking about something. She's like, "Sis, you know that you doing too much." And of course, with her, because she will put it in a PDF. She will plan dinner to go to dinner to make a plan. Like when I say you can't miss it, you
Yeah.
can't miss it.
Yeah.
If you missing it,
Right. Right.
that's why like you gotta have
Yeah.
these like
Yeah.
not just
I
you
mean,
or me. We have to have these boundaries.
you do. You
Yeah.
have to have the boundaries. And how Rachel spells it out, I love her examples because what she
Yes.
did was a comparison.
Hmm.
Broke boo versus, you know,
Rich
get
boo.
your
Yeah.
bag. Yeah, rich boo. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. I was gonna say get your bag, but which is pretty much the same thing. But it also it what comes into play, and by the way, this is in chapter 3,
Hmm.
$1 million decisions. Again, y'all get the book. Like, we're talking about
Hmm.
it. There will be a few spoiler alerts in here, but regardless, because this should become your workbook.
Yes.
Become your workbook, right?
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter what stage you're in, this book can become your workbook. At any rate,
Absolutely.
how she spells it out, how she does the comparison, it really does call in effect or make you get that magnifying glass or mirror, if you will,
Hmm.
and look at the decisions that you've made. Like I was easily able once I was doing it, and I think the trigger was she was like, I can't do that. When she saw, me putting it, oh, I can't do that. So I immediately went to, why am I even doing this? Why am I? Yes, I'm sitting in the chair, getting my hair, but I was also listening to a book that was feeding me,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
So I didn't have to go down a rabbit hole. But again, that, oh, I can help you. I can help you. I know the
Hmm.
answer. So let me give it to you instead of, hey, she's touching on a boundary that you had already set for yourself because you knew this was a broke ass decision. You knew this. You knew that,
Yeah.
that behavior, but I'm triggered and I still haven't exercised it enough to know that, to see it coming down the street. You know
Yeah.
how, you see something coming, you like, oh, that don't look good. That I don't think that's gonna be
But it's your
mine.
goodness in your heart because
Yeah.
we keep on, you guys, we almost talk about this almost every week with her that she does seem too much. And I will be the first because I believe because I'm already out here and I spend a lot of time by myself, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, wait a
Yeah.
minute. Like,
Yeah.
DeAnda, you gotta
Hmm.
like pull it back
Yeah.
a little bit. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's about you, what you
Hmm.
want. But even with the other side of it, it is hard to navigate it. And
Hmm.
especially when you're a giving person, you can
Yeah.
still give. But even when she was saying with her broke, between broke babe and rich babe,
Hmm.
how about you can give back in putting money towards something that you really care about
Right.
versus you picking up the shovel and you doing the getting in there and stuff like that. Like,
Hmm.
just that,
Yeah.
just that is just
Yeah.
completely changes your mindset.
Hmm. It does. It does. And I will add to that by saying that once you do recognize what the broke ass decisions are, once you kind
Mhm.
of say, hey, there's this one, there's that one, there's, and then you come up with like 5 that you've done in one day, right?
Yes.
And then you hold them up and you like, oh, okay, so the rich decisions that I could have made instead of those,
Hmm.
and what that money, because she did a one comparison where or when she was talking about comparing the two, broke
Hmm.
versus rich, like what they would have made, the money they would have made had they
Yeah.
made,
Yeah.
the on based on the decisions that they made. And
Hmm.
like, broke ass, she made some money, but she didn't make
Yeah.
significantly enough, to warrant, what she gave out, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Be it advice, be it, labor, whatever. Because
Hmm.
it's all the same once you go to the checkout counter, it's all the same, right?
Yeah.
And versus um Rich Babe, who also incorporates self-care, which
Hmm.
is a whole nother Oprah show because we don't
Yeah.
believe, Black women in particular, but I will say women
Hmm.
as a whole, don't believe that self-care should be a thing for us. We
Yeah.
don't believe that self-care should be on our calendar. We don't incorporate that until
Yes.
we're burnt out. We go to the doctor and they say, oh, we don't know what's wrong, but we know something is wrong, you know. And what Rachel,
Mm-hmm.
outlines, again, I'm telling you, this is like a workbook, you know, get you a hard copy if
Mm-hmm.
you're a gotta see it in black and white, or just listen to it, listening to it and
Yeah.
taking some good notes will do it too. But you gotta
Right.
incorporate the self-care. You gotta incorporate your boundaries. You have to incorporate those things that will employ you to be more like rich babe versus
Mm-hmm.
broke ass babe,
But
right?
even to piggyback off of that,
Mm-hmm.
because that right there is a very particular thing that she also sort of, I want to say it was the very beginning of her book, but
Mm-hmm.
she's like, this isn't some situation where the finance bros is telling you like, oh, your latte is not worth it. Like, if that what makes you feel good, it makes you feel empowered and emboldened, because it's also mental.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking to yourself that you gotta like scrummage with all the financial stuff or whatever, and you're not putting anything into yourself, and she gave the example, I can't remember verbatim, but she's like,
Mm-hmm.
people that come in and they're dressed a certain way and people perceive them a certain way, people are going to believe what they say. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to feel like they're the professional, they're confident. You you know, because it's even like with our hair, be like, oh, why you spend so much on your hair?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you like talking to this one beautician and she's been doing your hair for the last 10 years and you don't have to stress, you don't even have to worry about her, doing something crazy to your hair, and you come out feeling like $1 million. So you stand up a little bit taller, you
Mm-hmm.
feel more confident to ask for $10,000 for you to work for a week. And when you could have felt a little bit less than that in a video call and been like, well, maybe I could just go down a little bit lower. Because she
Mm-hmm.
also talked about that, that silence when you tell
Yeah.
someone your price and you be so quick. 'Cause I did that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
where you're like, oh, well, if that's too high, like you're not even letting people process it. Like
Right.
my dad will always say,
Yeah.
like, what's the worst someone could say? No. You're being
Right.
honest.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's like
I
that,
always say that. Yeah.
all the internalized
Mm-hmm.
gymnastics that you do in your mind and in your spirit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Long
Yeah.
story
Yeah. And I always say those
short.
people who
Put
who
into
say that
it.
they can't do it, who say that they can't afford it, those aren't your customers. Then those are not your customer. And that's fine
Yeah.
too. Everybody can't be your
Hmm.
customer, and that's fine,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yes.
you got to go out and get the ones who will pay your fee, who will, and sometimes it may
Hmm.
take a few no's. One of the things, and I don't know if it was this book because I listen to several books at one time sometimes, but think it was Rachel Rodgers who said, "No doesn't have to be this bad thing. Sometimes, rejection is protection." And I think you say that a lot, Malaceo. Rejection is protection, and um, you have to be okay with the no. Get comfortable with the no. You know, get in line with having no not be this, thing where, oh my god, if I get a no, then that doesn't mean that means that my service or my product isn't good. No, go to the next person. Go to the next person. And that's what Rachel Rodgers talks about in this book. It looks like Malaceo is frozen, so let me see. Yeah, let me see what I can do on this end. Oh yeah, so she was kicked out. Let's see if she can come back in. Hold on a second, y'all. Give me 2 secs. Um yeah, give me 2 secs. Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Here she goes. Alrighty.
Love.
Hey, you know what? Technical difficulties, it happens.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm in a boot camp now, and I tell you, every night we've had something. Every freaking night we've had
Well, you
something.
know me,
And
retrograde.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what somebody keeps saying. It's like we're in retrograde, and I'm like, y'all, we have to just lean in, rock with it.
Hmm.
It's like, we can't cry over it. I mean, we can cry over it if we want to, but
Yeah.
you got to still keep moving, keep moving.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, yeah. So just to kind of make sure that we're back on the same page and stage, we are discussing book club style Rachel Rodgers' book, "We Should All Be Millionaires."
Hmm.
So we just spoke about broke ass decisions that we've both made. As recently as yesterday for me. And
Yeah.
honestly, I have several.
Hmm.
But I'm going to move on to another question that kind of lands us in actually one of my favorite chapters in the book, chapter 6, million
Hmm.
dollar this no, I'm sorry, chapter yeah, um chapter 6 is, I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right thing and not the wrong thing, wrong information. Even though I'm going to keep saying it, get the book. It's like a
Yeah.
workbook for you. No, chapter
Yes, it
6
is.
is titled Million Dollar Vision. Million Dollar
Hmm.
Vision. And for me, this chapter was, because I like, notes, I like processes, that kind of stuff. I'm like, give it to me. I'm on it. I want to do it. So that's what this chapter does. It guides you to visualize, what you want, and then it starts to set you up for the chapters to come with action. So you got to get in the planning of what you want, then get into the action or execution of that. And that's what
Hmm.
excuse me, chapter 6 does, in terms of visualizing. It starts to set up the stage for visualizing. So my question: Rachel quotes author and influencer Tim Ferriss, who says 99% of people in the world are convinced they are incapable of achieving great things. So they aim for mediocre. The level of
Hmm.
competition is thus fierce for realistic goals, meaning you aim for not necessarily the bottom, but definitely not the
Hmm.
top, somewhere in
Yeah.
the middle. Somewhere in the middle.
Hmm.
It's like, your boss gives you, kudos for a good job on it, and you give it to the team instead of saying, yeah, I did that. I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Working on that.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, uh, what was your initial reaction to that quote? And in terms of the goals that you have,
Hmm.
set after reading the book, before reading the book, while reading the book, um, and do you think they're great or they're mediocre, or you can go better, you can go higher, you can go bigger? Um,
Hmm.
and I want you to maybe, like, stand back, take a breath and
Yeah.
think about it, and you don't have to give us all your goals. You can just, kind of look at one of them and say,
Mhm.
let us know what you think about that. And let me know if you need some time, and
Yeah.
I will
I
jump
think
into what mine
I
are.
think because I always be thinking, so it's just remembering, which is so
Yeah.
the part for me. But um
So I don't know what's happening, but you're freezing again. Oh, let me see. She's frozen again, y'all. Okay, let me see. Uh, and I don't know.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I didn't even start because I've seen it was starting to act a little weird.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
so yeah, so for me, I sort of felt like I wouldn't say that it was so big. I wouldn't say that I was thinking corporation. I'm thinking I'm gonna get a place, a condo. I might get like a rental property built up in the Georgia mountains, and I'll, pop in and pop out, this, that, and the other, to get some fall weather in my system yearly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just be making enough money, and I'll just be out here frolicking and stuff. Like, not too much, not too little,
Mm-hmm.
like, my own like solitude of queendom, in my personal
Uh-huh.
opinion.
Okay. Okay.
But even reading the book, we should also think about calling it experiencing a book. We might
Mm.
want to put that like experiencing.
I
There's a difference
like
between
that.
reading and experiencing, because I feel like it was like an experience. I
Yeah.
felt like she was there with me and I was talking to her, but we wasn't.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag. Anyway, so afterwards, I'm like, well, that whole part where she's like, you can help somebody else or help other women or just help other communities or help your community
Mm-hmm.
with the money that you have. And I was like, then I'm started to think that, okay, like I probably can make, and this is a big one, y'all. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking about making like my own interior design style.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is going to be something, way in the works, because I got to get down into the weeds. There's certain things that I got to do and get together. And then when I start to release it, when I have my community essentially, and then I'm starting to release it. So it'd be like, this is mine. This is
Mm-hmm.
my stamp,
Mm-hmm.
but before that, I'll be doing other interior design things, especially like the slow traveling, showing my life. And I'm like, because I was scared. You can even
Mm-hmm.
ask DeAnda. I was scared to even really put myself out there, to like show my face, to be like, this is who I am, to even say like what my name was. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, all of this is gonna, and you don't know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
Yeah.
And then you're moving. So like what is it really? Like, you
Yeah.
have a beautiful life, and not saying you had to live a life that me or DeAnda are living, but it's a life that you chose, that you carved out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Even that, in my personal opinion, it adds on to your happiness, and you don't have all these other outlets to make yourself happy, where you're really, destroying your goals,
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that it helps you sort of deconstruct when you're experiencing this audiobook, this book. There's a lot of things, because even how she writes, I'm like, this is like on some psychological type shit, like for real, like your psyche, and you don't know what you don't know. Like
Right.
you don't really catch it because nobody put it into words,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I feel like
Oh,
I'm
she's
not
like,
saying that I'll be making the monies, but
mhm.
will my empire be, like physical, or girls, or, with Spellman or something?
So the video is freezing again. So yeah, you're freezing up. I don't know if she can hear me or not.
I'm in this, would say
Can you?
yes.
Hmm. You're freezing up, love. I don't know if you can hear that you are. I don't know if you can. Um, I don't know. It has to be on her end. But here's what I'm going to do. Here's
It
what
is.
I'm going to do. I'm going
It is on
to jump in and kind of give you my take on this
Mhm.
question, because this kind of putting Tim's quote in there, and it did kind of, again, this was another kind of mirror moment for me in the book, because like I said, in this particular chapter, she then goes into how do you look at your goals and think bigger,
Mhm.
think wider, and some of that is, I don't want to give away the example that she gave in her life, but so I'll give, my one of the goals that I have, right? So one is, I started looking at what do I want to generate monthly.
Mhm.
And what I was thinking was, monthly should be my weekly. What I was thinking monthly should be my weekly. Real
Yeah.
talk, after reading this book, real talk, I'm never going to
Yeah.
reach millionaire status if I'm thinking that my monthly should be the number that I was thinking, right?
Mhm.
So I I was literally in bed. I was in bed, lights were off, and I was thinking about that. Lights came back on, grabbed my phone and the calculator, and
I
I
must say
looked
I
at
know
that
you
and
did.
I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? You're not gonna reach millionaire status with this number. And so I started
Mm-mm.
calculating and looking at everything. And yeah, there's gonna be some work involved in getting to that number and making that a weekly number, and
Mhm.
then getting to that monthly number. But I can do it. It's not
Mhm.
like it's hard, you know?
Absolutely.
And it becomes not so much hard as in I'll be doing something that I love doing, that I'm enjoying doing, that I'm like literally jumping out of bed to do, right?
Yes.
And that's what I feel like this quote is leading to. It's like, the stuff that you are kind of sidelining yourself with, telling yourself that um it's it's okay to, say, oh, I want to ask for, I want to put this price on my services, or,
Mhm.
I'm going to, sell this product for this amount, because
Yeah.
I want people to buy it. When, if you can just start with one, because if
Mhm.
you get one person paying this high with this ticket price on it, that
Mhm.
all you need is like two. All I
Yeah.
need is two people to buy it. I don't need the masses to buy it. I don't
Yeah.
need everybody, because it ain't for everybody. It's not
Mhm.
for everybody. Because I'm gonna have people like, Braid Girl, who's like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So then you're not my
Yeah.
customer. You're not my customer. And I've, watered myself down to fit in something that you're not even gonna buy the shit. Like you're not even gonna buy it. You know?
Regardless, free. And
Right.
that's another example, because we're coming full circle now. You got that for free 99 and you still said no.
And you
It's not like you
still
was
don't want
verbally
it.
just telling her, you put it in a text.
Yeah. Yeah. So she walking around now with, basically she's walking around with the key to elevate her business, to grow her business.
Mhm.
She's walking around with it.
Yeah.
But she told me before I even left, before she was done with my
Mhm.
hair, I can't do that. I don't know how to
But the
do that.
thing is, she wanted something though.
Yeah.
She wanted something because she asked you.
Mm-hmm.
in my personal opinion.
Hmm.
Whether
Yeah.
it was planned or not, there was something valuable you were saying or she heard through that
Hmm.
conversation
Yeah.
that was like, oh, I want some of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Most definitely. And I get that. I get that. And it's, I think, honest to me, you, and anybody else who is in the mix of change and growth, because that's what we are,
Mm-hmm.
to spot that and then put on it what is the boundary here,
Yeah.
because I still could have given her something, but it didn't have to cost me anything. It wouldn't have been
Yeah.
me, losing anything, and we still would have ended up where we're gonna end up in. She ain't gonna do nothing. She ain't gonna do
Yeah.
nothing. She gonna keep doing because it's comfortable. It's
Yeah.
comfortable, and people get in their comfort zone. No shade, no shade, because I live there too. I live in comfort zone too. Don't get it twisted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I find comfort zone, and I unpack my bags and jump in, right?
Yes.
However,
Yes.
I am in my fire zone right now, and again, that was coming off of Exodus Summit 2025, reading,
Yeah.
we should all be millionaires. I'm in fire zone.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the braid chair having business conversations and people hearing it like, I want some of that. I want a piece of that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at them for wanting it, but I get kind of in my feelings when you don't really know what you want because you don't want this because you can't do that. And that kind of goes
Mm-hmm.
into one of the questions that was asked to put to Rachel Rodgers during the summit was, what
Mm-hmm.
if somebody, steals your idea? People are always saying that. And that to me is always a clue that you ain't getting ready to do nothing, sis. You're not getting ready to do nothing.
Exactly.
You're not getting ready to do
Exactly.
nothing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
I
look at how much
fell
work
for
you're
that.
doing now.
Yes.
Is you're gonna tell me that somebody who's not even doing anything to begin with that they are passionate about, you're telling me they're gonna copy and paste and do all they might try to start a little something something.
Mhm,
Because even Stephanie and Rashida talked about that too.
mhm.
Other people try to start something, a little something, something here and there, and it just fell off.
Yeah.
So that's something to once again
Mhm.
even worrying about other people. If anything, just take it as a compliment and just keep it moving.
Right.
Keep it moving
Because
because obviously
what
they see the success in it.
that part and what's yours is yours.
Hmm.
Because I told you about like the only band work boot camp, and a
Hmm.
question came up. Everybody's doing this, so who's going to pay to see me do it? Well, we all burst out laughing. Not all, but Mo and I burst out laughing
Yeah.
when I read that question to her.
Hmm.
And the quick answer is because it's you, sis.
Yes.
Nobody has what I have.
Right.
Nobody is DeAnda. Nobody is
Yes.
DeAnda. Nobody is Malaceo. You
Yeah.
know. So ain't nobody gonna step up with that. And if
Hmm.
you bring in your true you, then that is what you're bottled. You are the brand,
Yes.
and
And
that's what.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that people are missing. Because you guys, I do a lot of research. I'm nosy. If curiosity killed the cat, it killed me.
Please say it.
Okay,
Please
Deanna
say
has
it.
her stuff. Obviously, I have mine.
Yeah.
Um, but I've come across people that was like, you know, even how the social media of it all, or just how marketing is like people are starving for community, for
Yeah.
connection, to feel like they see somebody in another person, to even just us talking about this and somebody comes across it and they can be like, I never knew that you could be solo traveling. I never knew that, there's actually people doing it for real,
Yeah.
or this group of women is coming together and they're talking about making money, and you're talking about being a millionaire, and you're talking
Yeah.
about all this stuff, and it's a
Hmm.
possibility, and there's books about this stuff, and
Yeah.
there's women that's been where I'm at now, and it's just all this just available
Hmm.
information. It's a plethora
Hmm.
of information,
Yeah.
but you have to internalize that, because we can't tell you how many people we came across that's not internalizing it. And this information is just, she just said it. She's walking around with all this information in her phone.
Yeah. 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 Um, People say it all the time. Another thing is you get this, you read the book. You read the
Hmm.
book. You go to the summit. You get in community, which I think we need to expound a bit more on community in just a second. But you get in community, you get an accountability partner, you start doing that, but all you're doing is those things. That's not
Hmm.
execution. You have to mix the learning, the getting in community, the self-care, and then execution.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I will say me, DeAnda, in the past, I am not going to lie about it. That's been me. I am a planner.
Mhm.
In fact, I get, in my zone. If I'm like, if I
This
got,
is be flowing. She is a planner, y'all.
I,
Y'all,
that is my,
we can
that,
have a whole story about
like,
that. When we did
I'm
that
doing it.
overnight thing,
Yes.
when it was working.
You know, like,
Yeah.
the Notions app, like when I found that, I was like, where have you been all my life? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love stuff like that. Let's get into
Yeah.
it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. And
Yeah.
then I think being a Virgo too, mixed with that,
Mhm.
is just like heaven. It's heaven for
Yeah.
me. Um, so I have to be very intentional about, hey, I'm gonna have my learning days, or I'm gonna have my learning hours, and then I got to get into execution.
Yeah.
And sometimes it becomes daunting because, again, it's a muscle that I don't always use. So I'm
Mhm.
still in developing the routine of getting into execution. It's like, do I do it the first part of the day, or do I do it midday, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And how I then pour into myself, pour into my family, pour into, you know, entertainment. It's like, because I
Mhm.
have to, like, I'll be here in it. I'm in it. I'm learning. I'm looking at a YouTube video. I'm listening to a book. Or da 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 da. And then I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. This happened to me. What, last Sunday? I remember I told you
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I was trying to finish up loading a video to my YouTube channel.
Mhm.
And because, my channel is fairly new in terms of just editing, and which is like the hardest part, y'all. Um,
Don't
the filming, like
don't
we're
get me
doing that,
started.
which is
Yeah.
why we're on a live, because this is easy peasy. Like, I don't have to do no editing. We're here. Everything that we're
Yeah.
saying is, you're getting it. At
Right.
any rate, you when you're editing, just like, you're adding little stuff. And again, Virgo girl, I'm looking at my notes. Oh, I want to make sure that, I highlight this part, and da 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 da, all the things.
Mhm.
And I ended up losing what I thought I lost something in the video, whatever.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
then I literally screamed. Like, if anybody was passing by, or my neighbors or what, I screamed. Like, oh my,
Yeah.
because I've been working on this for
Mhm.
at least 4 hours. I kid you not, at least. And so um I said to myself, okay, because I wanted to cry, but I didn't,
Yeah.
because I'm a crier, but I didn't cry. And I said, get up, go put a bra on, because I
Mhm.
didn't have one on. Go put a bra on and go
You know
outside.
it's real.
And go outside.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I went outside. I, walked around, went to the produce stand and got, dinner. came back, and I didn't dive right back into it. Made some dinner, ate some dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I think I even played a game on my phone or something. Again, just like I can't go over there yet. I
Yeah.
can't go over there yet. And I want
It's
to
about
say
to go
maybe like
down.
an hour and a half passed by. And then
Mm-hmm.
I came back over and it was there. It was there. The file was there. It wasn't lost. It wasn't deleted. It was there. But I was so in it. I was just
Mm-hmm.
like I'm in the camera, right? That's how I was with this. Like I'm in it. I'm doing it. I'm doing all this stuff. And I'm watching football or whatever because it was Sunday. So I'm like, you're doing too much, is what I said. I said, DeAnda, you're
Yeah.
doing too much. You got to
Yeah.
push back from the keyboard, and take a breath. And those are things I reach into my mental toolbox. That's what I call it. And
Mm.
I pulled out, what do I need to do? And what I needed to do in that moment was movement and
Yeah.
vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
Movement, vitamin D. And I reached in, I grabbed those two out, and I said, okay, let's go. Let's do
Mm-hmm.
it. But you got to figure out what that is for you,
Yeah.
so you can execute those things and get yourself out of those pockets of imposter syndrome or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some things that I don't know. Clearly, there's some things that I don't know, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that I do know. There's a lot of
Yes.
stuff that I do know. And so, yeah, I want to talk a bit about getting in community,
Mm-hmm.
accountability partnerships, what that does. She talks about it in
Yeah.
spades in this
Yeah.
book. Again, it's a workbook, y'all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
treat it as such. At any rate, it is also married to the strategies and concepts that you get from Exodus Summit.
Yeah.
Getting in community, they set it up for you to get in community. They set it up for you to find your person or persons, because
Mm-hmm.
community doesn't have to be 100 women.
Yeah.
Community doesn't have to be all women.
Mm-hmm.
Community doesn't have to be, 20 women. It could be
Right.
one person. We're in community right now, you and I, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I will tell people is find your person, find your, Stephanie to your Rashida, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
both of them will tell you that. Like, find your Stephanie, find your Rashida. You can't have mine. Like, y'all can't have Malaceo. Like, stop it. Back off right now.
Right. You guys can have DeAnda.
No,
Off
right.
limits. We
Because,
started from the bottom. Okay.
yes,
Listen.
yes.
Listen.
And once you find that person, you don't have to be in the same industry, because we're not. We're not.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to be from the same state, but we are,
I'm about to say, oh.
coincidentally. You know what? You don't have to even be the same age, because we're not.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, there's so many things that people kind of put in these, oh, well, I can't find nobody because she don't live in my same state.
Mhm.
Accountability partners that I've had in the past, none of us lived in the same state, but we talk
Mhm.
weekly, sometimes daily,
Right.
right? So it is what you make it. Just like your plan to move, your plan to grow, your plan to start your own doesn't have to be done alone. You don't have to do it
Mhm.
alone. And that's what community brings you. That's what community gives you. That's what
Yeah.
partnership gives you. It doesn't have to be a partner in your business.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be somebody who
Mhm.
is doing the exact same thing. Coincidentally, one of my other accountability partners, we talk once a month, a scheduled once a month call, right? And then from
Mhm.
there,
Yeah.
we're, kind of maybe texting each other, hey, girl, I'm doing this. Here's an article that might be good, that kind of stuff. Hey, I just, put out a new video on my YouTube channel. I think this will be good. Hey, I just found this on
Mhm.
YouTube. I think this might be helpful for you. That is accountability partnership, you know.
Right.
I know that you're working on this, and this is going to help you get further towards reaching that goal by doing this or by looking at this. We do it all the
Hmm.
time. Like if you
Yeah.
go in our chats, you're gonna see a whole bunch of links, a whole bunch of articles, and not to
You
even
know what?
go ahead.
We should probably, after just in the next year or so, probably pull all the files. It will probably be able to make a whole thing and charge people on this is the information you need to make a YouTube
Yeah,
successful at this
yeah,
point. Like, I'm so
yeah.
serious.
That's a
I'm so
good
serious.
that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And one of so one of the things that has worked for our partnership is, I may text you, you may text me something, hey, I'm thinking about this product,
Hmm.
adding this or this process for my
Hmm.
channel. And I'll say, hey, yeah, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
So I think I've said that like a number of times, and one day you were like, I love that that thing you're using, that word you're using, and I just
Yes.
pull stuff out. Like I don't know, I'm just talking. Um, but sometimes it's not. It's what you say, how you
Hmm.
say it. Where it then starts to. Because I think I've been saying, unpack it. Let's unpack that.
Yes.
But it was like one day you were like, ding, ding, ding. I think we
Yeah,
need
it's
to.
like a double entendre. I was like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
I'm like, it's doing something to my brain.
It's doing something. It's doing something. And I will say that in this book, she pulls out a lot of that for me. She pulled out a lot of
Hmm.
that for me. Again, like you said at the top of this call, is it's like you're talking to somebody who's a friend. You're talking like I feel like if she
Hmm.
lived in Brooklyn, we would be friends. Like she would be in my book
Right.
club, like easy,
Right.
right? Just because the way she talked, her tone,
Hmm.
the way she writes, her tone, her examples are so sister friend.
Hmm.
It's not like she is on this stage or pedestal that I can't reach. It's unreachable to me.
Right.
At least that's not how I'm taking it. Now I'm not,
Me either.
shitting on people who, put people up on pedestals and, start,
Hmm.
following them for that reason. Hey, go be do. If that's your ministry,
Hmm.
not shitting on you for doing that. But for me, I think I was able to drink the Kool-Aid she was pouring
Yeah.
because of the way that she was giving it to me, that I could relate to
Mhm.
that. Like I didn't necessarily, my life doesn't necessarily parallel hers.
Mhm.
However, it does evoke things that I can relate to easily,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I think it is that part that then pulls you in. Uh, there are several other authors that, do that same kind of, give you that same kind of feeling that, oh, you're not just like talking at me,
Yeah.
you're not just trying to, get me to buy something or get me to do
Mhm.
whatever, whatever,
Yeah,
whatever.
like she said,
Yeah.
like the finance bros, like that
Yeah.
whole, "Oh, you're doing this wrong, you're spending your
Hmm.
money wrong."
Hmm.
And she
Hmm.
even gets into some weeds of that too, where she's talking about how just society talks to women about our our spending habits, or try to minimalize our spending habits, or what we spend money or what we want to spend money on is frivolous or dumb, or it doesn't help anybody type of thing. Like, she really gets into the weeds of it. And that's another thing that I do love. Like, she builds a beautiful foundation
Hmm.
of, I understand you, I see you, even to the point that, once again, you might not have a vernacular for what you're going through, what you're seeing, what you're witnessing. I do.
Hmm.
And let me give you a little opening of how to get out of this.
Yeah, I totally agree. Uh one of the I'm trying to turn this off.
You're fine.
Yeah. Um I was thinking, reading this book, like I already told you that the sixth chapter is like my favorite because it,
Mhm.
kind of gives you the framework to start visualizing, you know,
Mhm.
visualizing this goal, visualizing this plan.
Yeah.
And for me, visualizing and structuring a plan to get a certain number every month, bringing a certain
Mhm.
amount of revenue every month was an eye opener because
Yeah.
I was starting off by selling myself short,
Mhm.
by
Yeah.
changing me, by
Mhm.
not really giving my true value or realizing
Mhm.
my true value. And
Yeah.
I feel like I know better, I know
Mhm.
better, but I was still not pouring into me the way that I should have been doing because, then imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this question. How does imposter syndrome show up for you in your life?
Um, I would really have to say, I'll just give an example of I was in Japan and gave myself a mini sabbatical for 3 months.
Mhm,
For me, I'm like, I can't pronounce a lot of this stuff, especially in the correct, tone. Like I'm not going to the most hip places because it was just a lot of people.
mhm,
Obviously, you're in Tokyo, it's the most populated city,
mhm,
but the more like kitty stuff, and I'm more of a museum girly, but I'm like, who's gonna watch my stuff?
mhm,
Who's going to care about what I have to say?
mhm,
Who's gonna care about my experience? Who's gonna care about what I'm doing or my opinions about stuff because I'm not having these beautiful angles and doing this. I'm just doing this off of my iPhone.
mhm,
And I remember even talking to you about it a little bit. And this is like a few months ago now, but it's like, girl, there's always somebody for you. There's
yeah,
always somebody who they probably don't want to watch, stuff just to get information. They probably want to live vicariously through you. They probably want to just watch you and then they can pick up the pieces later and be like, I'm going to go on a sabbatical. I'm going to go on a vacation. I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to go and do that. Or, whatever, be more comfortable. Cause I feel like that stuffiness that you get from a lot of people, um, like in particular, I was like went to Shake Shack. Like I said, I was there for 3 months, but I went to Shake Shack like 3 or 4 times.
mhm,
And even that, I was scared to even film or even talk about, oh, I'm going to Shake Shack for dinner, like what I do in a day. Because I
mhm,
was like, oh my God, people are gonna jump down my throat because I went to get a burger in Japan and stuff. And I'm like, well, you know what? I've been
mhm,
here for 3 months and you're eating 3 meals a day.
yeah,
You do whatever you want to do.
right,
Maybe someone wants to see what's on the freaking menu at
yeah,
Shake Shack. But it's like that feeling of nobody wants to hear me. What am I going to offer? Almost
mhm,
like with the example you gave with the other lady from the boot camp. Like,
mhm,
why would people want to see me?
mhm,
And there's more than 8 billion people in the world.
mhm,
And why not you?
right,
Why
right.
not at the end of the day?
Those, imposter syndrome shows up for me in some of the same ways, but in particular, it shows up when sometimes I'm already in, this. I know this, but I don't know if the other person is giving it to you better. When I
Mhm,
get on the call with her, it seems like she already knows the answers and she doesn't have to,
mhm,
look at, something else, or, you know what I mean? Like
mhm,
she's just giving it to you right away. And I then have to come back, sit back,
mhm.
take a breath, and say, you don't know if that's not what she's doing. You don't know if she's doing that. You don't know if she has a cheat sheet right there. You don't know that. You're just assuming,
Yes.
because it looks different and how she gives it to you or how you're perceiving it. Because like you said, what's yours is yours.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in the case of, the content that you're showing, you're right. Some people just want to see what you're doing. Some people
Mm-hmm.
want to see another person in Japan. Like, I know I'm not going nowhere near Japan anytime soon, but it's interesting to know. I didn't even know they had a Shake Shack there. You know what I mean? Like, all these
Right.
or reasons, their reasons don't have to be the reason why I'm doing it. I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
it for me.
Right.
And so
That part.
it's that part that you have to start to employ or think about, because the stuff that we do in terms of our YouTube channels and our social platforms and what we give out. Again, we can take some of the examples or the way in which both Stephanie and Rashida gives out stuff, but they have to hold something to themselves. They
Yes.
can't give us everything and expect us to then know what to do with it, because then what do they have left for themselves? And I think Rachel poetically outlines that in her book, in that yeah, there's going to be some stuff that you don't know, but there's a whole bunch of shit that you do, and it's that part that you have to you know um give more credence to, give yourself a little bit more grace for. you know I don't think we give ourselves enough grace. I think that saying,
Mm-hmm.
if you start and end with grace, you're going to come out on top every time.
Oh yeah.
every
Yeah.
every time. And I think when um imposter syndrome does show up and you go grab a bit of grace, you take a deep breath, it don't look that daunting. It starts to look a little bit
Right.
more, okay, I'm gonna give you what I do know. I'm gonna give you what I already know. What I do know, I know for sure. And what I don't, I'm gonna just tell you, hey, I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. I'm gonna, give me a minute, I'm gonna have to go get that one. you know and be okay with that. Be okay with that. Understanding that I get to, I get to, do this. I get to live this life. I get to set, these goals that are, royal to someone else, but they're just DeAnda's goals, right? But I get to do it. I get to do that. So it continues to be like this lesson in, oh, I think she went away again. But I think we know the ticket now is for her to sign back in. Yeah, I think she's signed off. Give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna just see if she's gonna sign back in. I'm gonna see if she's gonna sign back in. Yeah, here she is. Awesome. Okay. All right. Okay. So one last question I want to ask, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So, what did you think about the concept "be her now"? And I think this is kind of in line with what we were just talking
Mm-hmm.
about. But do you think you're embodying the getting into the goals that you've dreamed up for yourself right now? Are you, wearing that crown right now? You know, yeah.
So this might be a little bit of the imposter syndrome showing itself, but I can, I'm a Gemini, so I can daydream and put the thoughts in and pour into myself. And but it's like, but the reality of my finance and trying to also, I don't want to say separate or whatever, but I'm still like, this is something I need to do. I need to pull back because I know I'm doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm doing the research. I know I'm doing this. I know I'm doing that. But sometimes, and this is like really hard for me to do, is to like let it go. I
Mm-hmm.
did everything I was supposed to do. Now let it go.
Mm-hmm.
That is very, very hard for me to do. So
Yeah.
I'm trying, and that is something that I am actively trying to do and to continue to do on a daily basis. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm struggling with doing it. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like with that, I'm struggling with doing that. Cause you know me, I can't. I feel like,
I do.
well, there's more I can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think for you, it becomes easy to get in execution mode. It comes
Hmm.
easy to, batch videos for your channel. It becomes easy
Hmm.
for you to develop ideas for your socials. Um,
Hmm.
that part is easy. It's easy for you
Hmm.
to jump into research mode. So of
Yeah.
course you're going to go to those things that becomes easy for you, that becomes natural for you because you've developed a routine that those things are not that's not the hard part. So
Hmm.
then when it comes to, okay, how do I pour back into me? How do I say,
Yeah.
hey, how do I start enjoying this life that I'm living?
Hmm.
I've had to tell you on more than one occasion, I need you to close the
Go
laptop,
outside. Yeah.
go to the museum, but not
Hmm.
to take pictures. You can go back to take pictures. You're not going to take pictures and
But I get
develop
real
and
quiet on that call, don't
put
I?
some content. Can you not do that? Can you just go and enjoy it? Because you say you're gonna go come back to Bangkok, but you don't have to, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go and enjoy it for what it is.
Mhm.
For
Yeah.
right now, just pretend like I'm not coming back. And so now I need to drink in everything that's here for me, you know.
Mhm.
And sometimes I know hearing that, sometimes I know I can hear it in your voice. Sometimes when I've said that on more than one occasion, I can hear it in your voice like, I hear the words that are coming out of your mouth.
But
But,
dot dot
you
dot.
know, yes. And I think that, that's that
Mhm.
muscle that, you're going to have to exercise a little bit more in terms
Yeah.
for it to become, a routine. When I told it to you in, when we were in Vietnam, I was like, why are you working so hard? You don't have to, you're not working a nine
Oh
to
yeah, it was
five.
real bad.
Why are you working these
It
nine to
was I
five?
was real bad.
Yeah.
Y'all, I was volunteering to work overnight,
Yeah.
like 24
All
hours.
nighters. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't tell nobody I said that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't help myself.
Yes. And it again, it becomes, you
Mhm.
are we're entrenched in the way we were, raised, the way society has told us this is the work,
Mhm.
this is the way you work. You work until you're sick. You
Mhm.
work until, you
Yeah.
retire and then you're too tired or too sick to do anything or go anywhere. And so we have that mindset, which is again
Mhm.
one of the things that she talks about in the book. It's like, how are you going to have a millionaire mindset when you can't even stay awake? Like, you got to have a stimulant, some caffeine to stay awake to then do the work,
Mhm.
and then in your
Yeah.
case, you don't have to you don't have to work 8 hours a day. You don't have to work
Yeah.
8 hours a day.
Mhm.
You've told yourself you do, and then
Yeah.
when you impress me when you say, oh yeah, I've batched enough stuff for my channel into the spring of next year, then what are we doing? What is it versus, sis? What are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, "Well, I got some other
Okay.
stuff that I could be." You was like,
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm gonna need
"Yeah,
you now. I'm gonna need you now.
yeah."
But again, I don't like, as your accountability partner, I don't like
Mhm.
jump down your throat on it, but I do continue to bring it up. It's like,
Yeah,
if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you. You know,
true.
if you don't take stock of, hey, what is going to feed me? How do I pour into
Mhm.
me? You like music. hey, I'm gonna turn on, my Spotify and blast it and just dance it out. And
Mhm.
oh, I'm tired now. I'm gonna take a nap because I can,
Right. Yes.
because I can,
Yes.
right? And so it's getting to that. It's getting to
Mhm.
that part, that I will say becomes the recipe for um, getting out of the imposter syndrome and getting into, I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna
Mhm.
live. I'm not gonna wait to, sleep when I'm dead, stuff. Which I used to say that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to say
Yeah.
that and
Yeah.
love the reaction and the compliments I would get from it. Oh, girl, it
Yeah.
looks like you don't. I get that I still get it where people are
Like,
like, oh, you procrastinate? Yeah, I'm human.
mhm.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I
Because
feel
you
like
got
I could
other
teach a
things to
class on
do in life.
procrastination. Yes,
You
right.
gotta
But
got other stuff to do. Mhm.
right, but what people see, they can't even. I literally had a friend of mine say, I can't associate you with the word procrastination because what I see, I don't see that. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that that's what I was giving out. But then it also then comes down to, DeAnda, I bet you tired. I bet you tired.
Oh, yeah.
And I can answer, yes, I am. I
Yeah.
am. Right. And
Mhm.
so, you know, um, being her now, for me, I'm still mapping out all that needs to be and look like and be
Mhm.
like, the whole concept of that. But I'm on my way, and a,
Right.
a lot of that came from reading this book,
Mhm.
looking at some of the principles that she's outlined here. Again, it's a workbook, y'all.
Yes.
And, understanding that,
Mhm.
I get to,
Yes.
right?
Heavy on
Dot,
that.
dot,
Yeah.
dot, right? I get
Mhm.
to. And, if I want my life to look differently, one of the things that I kept saying when I was traveling and where I met you earlier this year was,
Mhm.
I don't want to come back out like this. And some
Yes.
people look at how I did this, like, I want that. Like, give me the recipe to how you doing this, right?
Right.
If I can find fault in it. It's like, I didn't want to have to be beholden to this 9 to 5, having to log in
Mhm.
at a certain time every day, you know, and I don't want that going back out, So I am taking steps to, finding that number that I need to come in, revenue for that to come in for me to live that life, you know. And if I want to live, 6 months out of the year in another country or countries, what is that? What does that sound like? What is that from a, money in the bank, money in hand, standpoint look
Mhm.
like, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. This has been a really good conversation. I hope
Yes.
y'all are leaving here with your $1 million mindset, putting it in activation, first being, get the book. But in the
Yes.
meantime, rewatch this, watch the replay of
Mhm.
this, and then, go over to Exodus Summit and get the
Mhm.
replays and watch, her on the Exodus Summit stage, which was phenomenal and very
Mhm.
useful, and will definitely pull you in. And uh, let's see. What else do I want to add? Do you want to add something before we sign off?
You might want to, I don't know if you want to cut this part out, but it sort of reminds me of this meme. He was like, that one guy, he was like, you be thinking too small, B. You got to think big. You got
Right.
to think big, you think it's small. So that was literally what's going on in my head.
Mm, I
So
love it.
you
I
got to
love
think
it.
big. You got to
Yeah.
think big, y'all.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it is
Yeah.
your life.
Right. Right. Don't say no to yourself before you even ask the question.
Hmm.
Don't deny yourself the life that you want before you even attempt to get it. And that's what
Yeah.
a lot of people do. And what
Hmm.
Rachel is saying, that it's yours if you want it. You just gotta
Yeah.
go get it, you know.
Hmm.
And she basically outlines how to do that in this book. So I say go get
Yes.
it. We're dispensing with broke ass decisions. We're dispensing with that. That's gone. And we're literally, Malaceo
Hmm.
and I are experiencing this book. We're experiencing this book,
Yes.
you know. And also I want to
Hmm.
leave with, I will also want to say that, so at the end of the book, she basically put out a
Hmm.
challenge to, for
Hmm.
10 days, get $10,000. Y'all, I did it.
Yeah.
I did it. I got a little bit more than $10,000.
Hmm.
But I did it. I did it. I went in and I looked, and I'm getting ready to get on the next one and get the next 10,
Hmm.
get the next 10, and get the next 10, you know.
Exactly.
So I want this. I want this life. I fully want it. I fully want it. Yes, I do. So, if you enjoyed the book club style conversation, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share this live with someone who's ready to step into their next level. Um, so, another thing I wanted to leave you with is, I really like this style. I really like discussing books that, kind of feed us and help us grow. So the next book that I'm thinking about bringing up for y'all is, it's about damn time: how to turn being underestimated into your greatest advantage, by Arlen Hamilton. So we're going to do a deeper dive into, wealth building and getting into that. I see that Malaceo, Wi-Fi popped her off again. She's gonna come right back in, just to kind of give us a wave bye
Girl,
bye.
I'm calling help.
That's okay. That's all right. That's okay. That's okay. That's just the universe saying it's time, y'all.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's time. But again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching the
Mhm.
replay, if that's where you are. And let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep the conversation flowing. And we
Yes.
should all be millionaires, y'all. Thanks
Yes.
again.
Absolutely.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye bye.